worked on the play when Richard Kiley was Don Quixote? Because they say he actually thought he was Don Quixote in real life.
Well,
this guy actually lived the part.
Well, no, he didn't have a Dunza.
Okay.
He didn't, you know.
No, but I've read articles about him, how seriously he took that role.
Great. Yeah. He really, he looked at, you kind of look like.
Like Don Quixote?
Yes, you do.
Gee, thanks.
You do. Can I be your Sancho Panza?
No, but you can be my Dulcinea. How's that?
Dulcinea. It was beautiful, and I cried for a long time.
It's a wonderful,
musical. Backstage, and I couldn't believe that I had this great opportunity to do the musical. That I had studied the novel for a year.
So how tough is it, Marilyn, to break in? I mean, you know, here you are a New York actress. Yeah. You grew up in the Bronx. Yeah. You want to make it on Broadway. Was it very tough then? Is it tougher now? How have things changed? Just, I mean, it's a very, very competitive field that you're in.
I think it's probably worse now. You have a lot of conservatory-trained singers, and they really are trained to be triple threats. I was a triple threat, but it was just by accident. I loved acting, I loved singing, and I was trained as a dancer. But not everybody. You had people who were dancers or singers. Some people, you know, were able to do both. But not that many people were singer, actor, dancers. Yet there were less people, and certainly a paucity of comedians, so that when I walked into an audition room, you know, and shook people's hands, how do you do? They said, do you have an act? You know, this is when I was just 21, 22, and I didn't have enough life, you know, or perspective on life to have a nightclub act. But I stood out as somebody funny. So that, as a matter of fact, when I auditioned for La Mancha, the assistant stage manager said, are you in Second City? Is this an act? You know, because
you're naturally funny.
Except when I'm miserable. That's all. That's it.
But let me tell you, I should tell our audience that you and I were roommates for a little bit. That's because right. we shared the same office here at Lehman College. Right. We're professors at Lehman College, and we shared the same office. And I was introduced to you when I started here a few years ago at Lehman, and they said, here's your new roommate. And that same night, of coincidence will have it, that same night I got home and told my wife, hey, I have a new roommate, you should meet her, Marilyn Sokol, she's a famous actress. I was trying to impress my wife. I turned on the TV, and you were on TV on Sex in the City that particular day. Yes. And I'm going, there she is, there's my roommate.
Oh, I'm so glad
you were some kind of psychologist on Sex in the City?
I was a sex therapist.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, and Samantha, played by Kim Cattrall, was complaining about her boyfriend's anatomy. And he stormed out of the room, and she looked at me and she said, I don't know, I just need someone with larger body parts.
Okay.
And I went, I hear that. And apparently that was like the mantra all year with the crew and stuff. It was great. It was a lot of fun.
So what other, you know, you've been, I have a whole list of shows and no, not advice, but tell me about what stands out in your career, memorable things that you've done. I mean, I have a whole list of movies that you've been in, a whole list of plays, TV shows, theater.
You know,
what stands out for you that meant something?
The Beggars Opera meant a lot. I mean, the production was a big hit. It's the classic from which Three Penny Opera was adapted. And it's John Gay, and it's, you know, was it 17th century? Yeah, 18, I don't know what it was. But it meant a lot. It was, you know, utilizing my soprano. And I learned something very important. The music was late. And so we only had the lyrics. And so what the director did was just incorporate the lyrics into the dialogue, which made it's seamless when we finally got the music, which was, you know, operatic. It was an operetta. And then one time, after we were a big hit and we had moved to the McAlpin Theater, which no longer exists, 34th Street and 6th Avenue, the orchestra forgot to come in. Nobody signaled them. So it was my song, and I just went into the lyrics. And I didn't, you know, try to sing. I just went into them. Nobody would have known. But the director was really good. And he did with us what I do with my classes here. Where did you just come from? You know, what do you want? Blah, blah, blah. And we had a great cast. It was wonderful. But
let's fast forward to the present. This new play, this new play that you're in is very important. Tell us about that.
Oh, I don't know that much about it. Okay,
yes, you do.
I play a woman who is old, you know. She's probably in her 70s, and she goes to a senior center and she gets assigned to work with a slightly younger woman who has Alzheimer's. I have memory problems because I'm blocked, emotionally blocked. But this woman helps me dance, and somehow she intuits parts of me that have been buried. And it's a beautiful story of this woman, this other woman, played by Lonnie Ackerman, who's just
So
fabulous.
it takes place in a retirement home?
Some of it. Some of it is also depicting her children, and not a retirement home, but a senior center.
Okay.
You know, and it's really very touching.
So where does the title comes from? Love divided by ×3.
I don't know, actually.
Really?
Well, there are 3 parts.
Okay.
You know.
So obviously it's because there's love divided by 3 people, through 3 people?
No, actually, three separate kind of relationships.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So where is it, and when does it?
Kirk Theater on Theater Row, and it's that's between 9th and 10th on 42nd Street. Love divided by ×3, and it starts October 7th and goes through October 31st. That's Tuesday through Sunday, and you just put in your browser love divided by, does it say what I think it's Cause Celeb is the name of the website.
Okay.
Cause CAUSECELEBRE.com. Or you can just
We will put it on the screen so that
Okay,
everybody can see
thank
it.
you.